Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast. I don't even know what episode this is, but this is a badass episode. We're in Studio M, Minden, Nevada. I'm surrounded by royalty here. It's pretty fucking cool. Chris is not here, unfortunately. He is under the weather. Hammer lung times flu or something going on. I don't know. The desert was pretty rowdy with dust this past KOH. But we are sitting here with none other than Randy motherfucking Slawson, four-time king. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we got his lovely wife, Amber Slawson, no stranger to the podcast.
Tee-hee.
I think you're still number one on the podcast. I don't know. Are you close or is Kevin Jones?
Oh, I better beat Kevin Jones.
I think so.
Excellent.
I think so. Yeah.
Excellent.
You've got 2 second place finishes at Hammer, so that wins.
I've got the consistency on my side.
There you go. I like that. And then crew chief, and no stranger to the podcast, that was on a recent podcast with Todd LeDuc. Nick Bailey, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's good to be back, especially with these recent events we got going.
Recent happenings.
Quite a cause for celebration, so happy to be here.
Absolutely. Wow. We got some ground to cover. KOH 2026, 20th anniversary. Pretty freaking good for Bomber Fabrication, I must say. Let's start on Friday, the 4800 EMC race. Both of you were racing. Randy and Amber, both of you were racing.
You can start with Randy taking the pole position.
Well, okay, perfect. So, qualifying. So let's talk about the qualifying course real quick. It got shortened up like 3 days before the race, the qualifying started, or what the hell was that all about?
I'm not sure what the politics there were.
But it got shortened up.
It did. Yeah, it was. They told us we were going to have one qualifying course in the live show back in early January, and then they shortened it way up, and the whole course was probably a mile, right? Versus like the 4 or 5 miles that they told us it would be.
Yeah, we were expecting 5-minute qualifying, and it was 2-minute qualifying.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Was it advantageous to have a shorter course, or did you want a longer course?
I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't suck as bad as I thought it would. I thought it was fun. That was my whole thing, was when it got shortened up, I was like, oh, the fun part's gone. But it was still pretty fun.
Okay.
I qualified 30th, 33rd. So it wasn't really advantageous to me anyway.
So what would you say your percentage from 0 to 100 you were pushing the car
In
for qualifying?
85 or 90.
Okay. All right. So you were gunning it.
I kind of sucked at it.
Kind of sucked at it. It
kinda
looked like a
sucked at
good
it.
run.
Well, thank you. I didn't kill any tires. I didn't kill the car.
Right.
So that was the whole point.
You didn't flip over.
Didn't flip over. Didn't take out a corner.
Exactly.
Yeah, what was your line about qualifying, Randy?
Yeah, because that was one of the best when he was getting ready to qualify. Go ahead.
Let me see if I can pull it out. You can't win the race in qualifying, but you can lose the race in qualifying.
Exactly. Right? That is a great line. You said that to me right before you put on your helmet for qualifying, and I was like, that makes 100% sense. You could fuck up your car and not even race on race day. But yeah.
Like our good friend Scott Foley did.
Oh, jeez.
But he still got it back together and took the green flag.
He did take the green flag, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was a big rock.
It was a big rock.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
One of the highlights.
Right. That was on a lot of people's highlight reels of the week, especially, pre-race as that came up, because that would have been on Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Okay. That's right. 44 is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was a pretty early early excitement for the rock race, and saw that video all over the internet, and those slow-mos were just unbelievable. See the car take a hit like that.
It's pretty epic.
And then he finishes the course. And he qualified, I think, like 4 cars behind me.
Did he really?
He did, yeah.
Oh, jeez. With a headache, a migraine headache.
A little bit of a kink in his back, but
Jeez. Wow.
We got a ton of good press this year. A ton of good press. And I think Scott's thing kind of kicked it off for us because there was a lot of people saying, who built that car? Who built that axle? How did that car survive that hit? How did it continue on up the track after that?
Right.
So it was a bummer that he hit the rock, obviously, but it turned into some pretty good press for Bomber, I felt like.
100%. Yeah, there was a lot of commentary and a lot of people looking at that, and it's like, anything that there's always been the iconic events over qualifying, and it's like that was the one this year that really stood out, other than the 14-year-old kid destroying
Slawson.
Bailey Campbell's old car.
yeah.
that is
That was a 14-year-old kid.
it was a
Yes.
14-year-old kid.
How? I thought you had to be like 16 or 18 or something to race. How'd that
I don't know.
transpire?
Good point. I don't know.
I
I know they've raced in years past, too. They're like drifters, I think.
Yeah, they're drifters.
Yeah.
And
They race other stuff.
they race a lot of other
So
areas.
did Dave
of
make a
re-
concession because this kid has racing background?
I
or-
don't know.
I thought
But-
you had to be of a certain age.
yeah, I thought it was like 16 at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not 14.
Well,
Good
he's
point.
full of piss and vinegar, and obviously it showed there that just
No doubt.
full sin mode.
Nonetheless, Foley's car finished qualifying, and I don't think Bailey's did.
No,
Or Bailey's
it
old car.
didn't even make the start line.
Oh, so yeah.
They
see?
didn't even start,
Yeah.
to my knowledge. I didn't see him on the start line.
Bombers for the win.
Anyways, but yes, you're right, Randy. It did tee it up for the week of like, yeah, Bombers are here, and this, as we know now, it was a Bomber straight axle course that we saw. So let's so you finished first or qualified first, went out, got clean air on Friday morning. And you were hauling the mail. You were gapping the second place guy.
Yeah, anytime I could see over my shoulder, I'd take a peek behind me and there was nobody in sight.
And then
I ran out of talent.
Oh, boy.
so let's talk about your co-driver real quick. You had Chris Ray as your right seat, arguably definitely one of the most prepared, if not one of the most seasoned right seats in Ultra 4. And he does his homework. He's all business. And what'd you think of Chris as your right seat there?
Chris and I were having a really fun race. We were playing off each other. He was doing a great job calling bumps and corners and G-outs and this and that. And he was commenting about my driving skill and how precise I am and missing the weird spots and setting the car up for everything. And so we were just having a good old time racing around together. And then I think what happened, Dustin had pointed out this line on Sledgehammer there in pre-running. And he said, I think we should go over there. And I looked at it in hindsight. I looked at it when Dustin pointed it out and thought to myself, that's a terrible idea. But somehow in Chris and I's exchanges, we're like kind of showing off for each other. And I was like, I'm going to show him something cool. And he told me, don't go there. You got to stay up to the left or you got to stay to the right or something. And I was like, hold my beer and watch this. No, that's not what I said. I said, I said, I got something for you. And drove off that thing. And that was the end of our race. It was pretty dumb.
So then you were inverted upside down, and
We spent 2 hours riding the car.
oh my God.
And then we spent, it was probably an hour riding the car. Then we spent 2 hours with a 1/2-inch Craftsman ratchet turning the crank pulley over, trying to get the thing on hydrolocked because I didn't have a spark plug wrench. And that was grueling. We kept tag teaming it, trading off, turning this thing over until we finally were able to get it started. And we had a jump pack. We ran the battery on the car dead winching, and the jump pack made the difference with us being able to get it started. But we had that thing run mostly dead too. And in the end, when I finally got it started, we added a bunch of training fluid, and then it was still leaking. I was like, what in the heck is going on here? And I got underneath it and realized that in the flail, trying not to roll, I went wide open throttle, and it broke the front output yoke on the transfer case. And then it flung the front intermediate shaft into the big plug on the 4L80 and pushed the plug into the side of the case, which lets all the fluids out.
That's the magic juice out.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we were able to drive it back home, but we weren't going anywhere far in 2-wheel drive.
Right.
So it was, it was a blessing and a curse. We got to have a ton of fun running around the lap and a half we did. Probably not quite a half. We got to get some good pre-running in. I got a real quick reminder of how fast things can go back from really good to really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't completely burn myself up racing 48 because we had 44 the next day, which was 250 miles, the longest, hardest King of the Hammers I've ever raced. So,
right.
In hindsight, we'd have done it different, but also much better to win the one that matters than to win the one that doesn't and wear ourselves out for the one that does.
So I looked at that transmission that night, and the intermediate shaft, the yoke broke off the Atlas transfer case there. Intermediate shaft left the chat. Took out the plug, that plug there. So how did the transmission even go into gear at that point? Because it's all electronic, right?
So I'm not exactly sure how those things work 100%, but if you unplug it, it basically puts it into like this weird manual mode where you get like second gear in reverse or something like that, kind of by default.
Okay.
So we had a good strong second gear and we had reverse gear. And
there you go. That's all you need.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. Those things are just magic juice boxes to me. So, yeah. Wow. So did Chris ever say, I told you so or anything at the end? Or like, why didn't you listen to me? Or was there any...
No. I think I probably lost a little bit of respect there, but he never slighted me, so...
Yeah. Well, I know it's talking to Chris several times on the lake bed, and he was so excited from where he's gone to where he is now, like riding with you, riding with Shannon on Saturday. I mean, it's like a dream, for him to be able to get right seat with 3-time kings back to back. So pretty freaking cool. But I know he's looking to cross that stage as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was great. Excuse me. It was great having Chris around. Like you said, if you just counted miles, race miles in Johnson Valley, he's probably right up there with anybody.
Sure.
Because there's plenty of trips where he's jumping into 2 or 3 different race vehicles over the course of the week. And so, yeah, he brought a wealth of knowledge, a level of professionalism, like you said. It was really great getting to spend time with him. And I think, based on the good parts in the car, it sounds like you guys had the same experience. He loved riding with you based on our conversation. And it sounded like, you got some good feedback and experience with him as well. So yeah. It was a pleasure to have him around this year for sure.
That's cool. So, so you're there for 2 hours, and you were on your lid for how long, would you say?
The car was upside down for I'd say at least an hour while we tried to get it righted.
Wow. There's just nothing to winch off of over there.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't bring the little block and tackle donut.
Mm-hmm.
So we're running the cable all through itself and through other ropes and stuff, which is far from optional.
Sure.
Optimal.
Yeah.
So we're trying to cut lines and creating all kinds of friction and heat, and the little winch wasn't doing a very good job, and I don't know how much battery we had or what, but it was stalling. The thing that made it so we could actually make it happen was the little king jack that we had. We'd jack it up and winch for a while, and then we'd run out of jack. So we were piling up rocks, and we had this sketchy Karen pile of rocks that we
no.
that we had the jack all precariously stacked up on, and then we took the spare off the car and stuffed that underneath the chassis so we could pile more rocks. And we had it to where we were right at the tipping point where we didn't dare stack the rocks any higher. But we were out of jack again, and Chris got a spotter strap out, and he was like, "We're going to do it 1997 style." And no, 2007 style. Spotter strap, let's pull this thing over. And then Corey Allison came along and was kind enough to stop. And we were just right there at that point, where it didn't need much. And he stopped I bet he wasn't stopped for more than a minute. And we had it righted. And he loaned me some ATF, and away he went. And
wow.
But little did we know at that point how badly it was hydrolocked, and the transmission was out of oil, and the T-case was broken, and everything else. So
wow. Not like the old days where the fans would come down and flip the car back over.
Man, I miss those days.
Right?
We had a swarm of course officials around, and they offered to help us, but of course, if we take any assistance, then we're done. And at that time, we weren't ready to give it up.
Right. Damn.
Now I feel extra bad for not helping. I'm so sorry.
Well, okay, so Corey comes up, gets you the final back over. So the King Jack worked pretty well, is what I'm hearing. Because you carry a high lift jack on your 4400 car.
That was the first comment I made in the pit. If you look at all the other bombers traditionally, the high lift is on the co-dawg side. The King Jack, by the way that it works out on this new chassis, is on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And they landed driver's side down, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a problem with getting the jack out, but the amount of lifting capacity that the jack had, and lifting, what's the word I'm looking for? Height. Like it would only lift 20 inches or 25 inches or something like that. A high lift is good for 40 inches. So high lift is it might be an old farm implement. I slaughtered that. It might be an old farm implement, but it's a pretty good tool for
it works. Yeah.
Getting yourself righted.
Interesting. So Corey comes by, you get back over, and how long before Amber showed up?
Amber'd come and gone before Corey showed up.
Oh, before Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Amber was in the race, obviously.
Well, that was it. So, I mean, you slowed down. Obviously, you had some communication with Randy going, like, you want me to winch you over? What do we need to do here to get you back going? I mean, how did that go?
I feel so bad about it now. Because I saw him. We realized it was him. And I drove right past him and then stopped, looked back, and I gave him the thumbs up to see how he was doing. And I thought he gave me the thumbs up back. And he actually gave me thumbs down.
Oh!
And he didn't tell me that. I didn't know that until well after the race was over.
Oh, shit.
And I still feel bad.
Oh, no.
I should have pulled you back over. I'm so sorry.
No, you shouldn't have stopped. You should have gone and run for the front and got first place. I I was bragging to the Aussie guys, the course worker guys. I was like, "Did you see my wife come through here?" She's like, she started 30th and now she's third or whatever. She's gonna win this thing, and she was close.
That's
again.
close.
Yeah, I told everyone back at the pit, I was like, there's no way he's going to stop her. Like, he would probably just be out doing this. Of course, the picture they were painting on the live feed was complete opposite, right?
It was.
They were getting all weird and awkward and saying all kinds of bullshit on the live feed. But, yeah, I mean, just based on you were in front, you saw a few people come by, and then you saw her. So you knew roughly, even whether the course workers had said it or not, that she was charging hard. She had started 33rd, and here she is physically in 4th. So
Right.
they didn't show it, but we saw it on the tracker, and we just figured you'd be waving her by at that point.
Right.
Which, I mean, hindsight was the right thing to
Absolutely.
do because,
Absolutely.
yeah, you did well.
No,
I mean, did you wave me by?
I should have.
Okay. If I had gotten out of the car and offered to help you, what would you have done?
If you'd have gotten out of the car,
Or like backed up and asked you if you wanted me to help you?
I probably would have taken a quick tug, but at that point, I thought maybe there was still something to salvage.
It's still something. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
was my point. It was like, but the car was hydrolocked at that point.
Well,
Didn't know yet.
regardless of
But
the
we didn't know.
hydrolock, the broken transfer
And then
case
the transfer case
was a deal breaker.
Yeah,
Like there was no coming back from that broken yoke.
yeah. So it all worked out.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Okay, fair. I still feel bad.
Because, yeah, you went on, finished physically 5th,
Correct.
4th in your class, right? Because there was a
Third.
third or
There was
fourth
one
place
other
car
car.
that wasn't in your class that finished physically 4th.
Yeah,
so we're-
physical 5,
Yep,
4th.
Level in the stock class.
that was
the
it.
bypasses.
I got beat by a Bronco, you guys.
Well,
We
Thanks,
ran into the
Justin.
same thing last year, and I wish King of the Hammers would get their poop in a group on this. The stock class cars being having placement ahead of
yeah.
4,800 and 4,500 cars is dumb because they're on a completely different course.
Right.
They get all the stock bypasses. It's not the same track. They don't get scored the same. And saying that Lovell in a Bronco beat all these 48 cars
They
is
didn't do
silly.
the whole course. Yeah.
Justin did explain explicitly in the driver's meeting that the stock bypasses were made so that the stock cars couldn't pass 48 cars.
Right. It was supposed to take them a long time
Exactly.
based on distance or whatever.
But
Okay.
nonetheless, the levels, right, in the Bronco passed me and made it back to Hammertown before I did.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
No, he put on a clinic in that Bronco.
Oh, for sure.
But
they're running their own race.
Exactly.
They're on their own course. They qualify together. They start, regardless of where they qualify, they start in the back
Yep.
in their
Right.
in their class. They're their own deal. They shouldn't be scored up into the.
Yeah. It was an interesting lineup when you got all those classes, and this has been more and more of a conversation, topic of conversation for all the keyboard warriors and stuff online and everything, because it's like, okay, the Broncos obviously have been dominating, and are they in the stock class? Those things are nowhere near stock. So it's like, okay, how do you this EMC has become so competitive, and it's like,
$250,000 Broncos.
exactly. So it's like it's losing the spirit. And then you got what's his name in the Toyota pickup that's beat to shit.
Chris.
Yeah,
Finley.
Chris. Just out there, just proving the everyman challenge.
We can still have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you did it for years in the Samurai. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Anyways, yeah, here nor there. But you finished second after time got corrected and RCPs and VCPs all got accounted for. Last year it hurt you. This year it helped you.
Yes. So this year we missed. So back up. Last year, what killed us because we came in physical first and official second because we missed so many RCPs. This year, Tom stepped up his game 110%, and we were told that we missed 3 RCPs and 1 VCP. And when they told that to Tom in Race Ops, he was able to prove with Adam's videos of us and Jackhammer that we actually did get the RCPs.
Okay.
So we knocked 30 minutes off of our official time.
Yeah, because it was a 15 minutes per RCP.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
And VCPs were
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know the specifics on that one. I just know that we were able to knock 2 off. And we were told at the time that it would probably knock us, because we finished physical 5th, right?
Right.
It would probably knock us into 3rd place.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, we got 2nd place.
Second place. Yeah.
So it's
That's
a complete
awesome.
opposite of last year, where we finished physical first and got knocked down.
Pushed
this year
down.
we got knocked up
Yeah.
4 spots.
And thank God. So Adam Roniker, how do you pronounce his last name?
Ronker?
Roniker, is that right? Okay. He's been following you for the last couple years, creating this documentary.
Yes.
That's going to be pretty cool. So,
Yes.
He's filmed thousands of minutes of the race, and
I think he told me we filled 4 terabytes.
yeah,
40
Four-
is what I heard.
40.
he did.
40
He said
terabytes.
40 terabytes, and I'm not a big techie guy, but I know that's a lot of fucking data. And
Yeah.
I asked him, one of my first questions to him was like, how do you? I mean, you got to keep the camera rolling, because he goes, as soon as you turn the camera off, something's going to be said, something's going to happen that is like key to this documentary. And I go, okay, I get that. But like, how do you earmark that? Like, oh, Amber said this, or this happened, or whatever. And, he makes his notes and stuff, but holy hell, the editing is going to be insane. And good on him. I mean, he had a lot of people out there again this year. But anyways, we could go into the weeds on that, and that's a whole nother podcast with you. But kudos to him, and having that video footage proving that you went through the rock section and not bypassed.
Yes.
So that's cool. And that brings up a whole nother topic of, how accurate are VCPs and RCPs and all that stuff. But
Yeah, and at first I thought that this was just a privilege thing where we had this video evidence to prove that we actually took the line. But in fact, we could also have proved that we took that line with our own tracker. So I usually start a track with my Gaia at
Okay.
the start of the race, just for my own records, right? I never thought that it would come to this point where we would have to prove that we took the line where the RCPs were.
Got it.
But in reality, any other racer could do the same thing.
oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have backup. Kevin says that as a firefighter, 1 is none, 2 is 1. So having backup is absolutely key, and it worked out to your advantage this year, and thank God. So congratulations on second.
Thank you. Thank you very
Second
much.
year in a row.
Yeah.
You proved that it wasn't a fluke. And hunting down that first place finish next year.
Yes. And
Okay.
I learned something really good from Emily Miller on a podcast on the way home. Win slowly.
Win slowly. Okay, that's interesting.
And that's where I'm going.
Okay. So experience, obviously. But again, I mean, your journey at the Hammers has been incredible, and to go
Very slow.
from the worst possible vehicle you could choose to do Hammers to one of the best vehicles you could choose to do the Hammers. So
Yeah.
it's quite a ride. It's quite a ride. All right. So you finished 4,800's done. And now we are at the evening of 4,400 race. And there was a lot going on in the pits that night.
Yeah, luckily, so that the 48 car, we had done a transmission swap the night before the race, Thursday night, I guess. So
All day. We spent all day in the pit that day. From when you pulled back in at, what it was, that 8 in the morning or something, till I think I finally called it at 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
We'd had the skid plate off 4 times.
So
and
somebody picked up a transmission here in Gardnerville.
That's not what wound up happening.
Oh.
Chris wound up having a spare down at the shop
Okay.
in Hesperia.
Yeah, he built me one that morning, and brought it out that whatever it was, it would have been the day before Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Built this one on Wednesday and brought it out to Johnson Valley that night.
Maximum
And then-
transmission.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we dug into it and started installing it the next morning.
Yeah. So big prep day Thursday night turned into that race and the unfortunate letdown for Randy on Friday. But kind of brought some renewed focus. It was a good opportunity. We had a few new faces around the pit this year, and it was, the Bomber team, and I'll take this opportunity to shout out Adam back in the shop, because the Bomber team brought 3 cars to the lake bed that were
Right.
obviously ready to kill. Right?
Sure.
I mean, without Randy showing off for Chris on Friday, we potentially would have had
Three podiums easily.
yeah, right. So big shout out to Adam. That was awesome. Cars were dialed. Transmission thing is unfortunate. Everyone knows, things happen, especially when you're racing in the dirt. But it kind of gave us a good opportunity where it had been a pretty chill week all along. We had to kick the dust off really quick. It wasn't really quick, but it was a kind of a major operation. Get the new trans in the 48 car, get that thing set up. It did its part. It was ready to go on Friday. And then once we were able to recover, Chris and Randy, and they got back into Hammertown, it was all hands on deck, making sure that the 44 car was dialed. So it was really important to get Randy rested up and rehydrated right after being out. He went into self-care mode and was able to kind of focus on
Nice.
getting his mind back in it, taking some lessons learned from what happened on the Legends race. Any of those folks that are out there would tell you that it just takes 1 second for something to go wrong, right? A real small issue, real small mistake can turn into something major when you're in such a demanding, extreme environment like Johnson Valley. So, so it brought some renewed focus, and it gave us the opportunity to spend the afternoon making sure that the 44 car was dialed for Saturday.
So, I jumped in and out of your tent a few times that day, and it was just crazy. It was cool to watch, but like, holy shit, there was a lot of moving pieces and everything. And the cool thing is too, like, Randy's working on the car too. I mean, he built these cars and everything, so it's cool to see that, and not like, sitting in the motorhome in the AC sipping on Perrier water, right? Like,
It's such an
fully
upgrade
involved.
that now we're in a tent thanks to Freight Factory instead of changing transmissions on top of a bush like in 22.
Right?
And Bob bringing out the old carpeting so we could roll around under the cars and stuff in comfort was.
Oh, Bomber Bob brought that?
Yeah, the carpet in the
I
tent.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that
he
was-
brings oranges and carpet.
Yeah.
That's
That-
awesome.
That was quite the blessing to
Yes.
Yeah.
be crawling around on plush carpet instead of that dirty
Oh yeah.
tarp.
Yeah, and then
Dirty
rocks
tarp
hitting
or
you
rock.
in your back and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. The tent was badass. And you had plenty of room. You had rolling toolboxes in there and everything. I mean,
I was really proud of our team this year. We strategized and we used our time well. We changed the rear diff in the 44 car. When was that? Wednesday, when we had a
Right.
chance before everything got super hectic, and everybody came together and really handled business. We had 3 really strong cars.
Yeah, for sure. So, what time did you get to bed Friday night?
Friday night was pretty early.
Yeah,
Yeah?
like
I think-
maybe 8:30 or 9.
Yeah, I think I might have crawled in bed at 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, and
weren't
then
dashing that night.
what time were you up Saturday morning?
Too early.
Too early? Did you sleep? I guess is the next question.
You know what? I slept like a baby.
Oh
Really?
my gosh, I didn't sleep.
I
at
had
all.
Now, were you nervous or
I
what?
was so excited for his race.
Oh, really?
I worked
Well, and you were still on a high from your race. Let's face it. Okay.
I worked so hard trying to right that car and trying to get it on hydrolock that by the time I was able to crawl in bed, I was out.
You were exhausted.
Yeah.
So,
I think I was in bed 30 minutes before Amber, and I was falling asleep before she got there, and
wow.
she
That
woke
sounds
me
right.
back up. But yeah, I got a really good night's sleep on
Okay.
Friday night.
So you get a good night's sleep, you wake up, and then you're like, oh, fuck yeah, it's race day. I mean, are
Race
you like
day.
nervous at all, or are you like anxious, or what's your headspace in the morning when you get up?
That's a good question. I am not a morning person, for starters. I don't like getting up. I don't like getting out of bed. I'm pretty good at, historically, for the last 20 years of Bomber Fab, we usually start at 6 a.m. and I want to get in there and make something happen and get done and be able to go do something in the afternoon evenings, not just work every daylight hour of the whatever I'm trying to say.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, so getting up early like that, I know I need to get some calories in, and I'm not hungry yet, and I know I need to, I don't know, there's just a lot of business that has to happen in the morning between getting up and gearing up and eating and the bathroom and the catheter and
Yeah.
all the fun things. I had a a catheter malfunction on Friday, and the adhesive inside the condom didn't work or wasn't there. And I have been using condom catheters for a lot of years racing, and this was I'm a pro at it at this point. It was a complete failure on the catheters part. So
Did not result in pee-pee pants.
Did not?
Fortunately, I did not have to do with that. So what happened was I got out of the car to winch when I rolled it,
Okay.
and I'm hustling around, and pretty soon I'm like, oh, look, some idiot already lost their catheter. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that's my catheter. I stepped on it, and it fell off.
Oh, boy.
And there was no tug. So anyway, the next morning, based on that, I'd bought 2 catheters, and I I started digging through all of my stuff, all of my supplies, and I found a catheter from 24, and I opted to try the old catheter over the new catheter, and it worked flawlessly all day long. But Dustin used the new catheter that he got, and it failed as well. And
Oh my
so he
gosh.
rode around in pee-pee pants all day long.
Sorry, Dustin, threw you under the bus.
Sorry, Dustin.
Hey, everybody pees.
These things happen.
It's better than shit in your pants.
No hugs at the finish line.
Yep. So
These are the things you don't hear on the live feed.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
I just regret that that's the first time Dustin's name has come up so far on the podcast.
Right.
We're just
Oh,
starting.
geez.
We're just starting into our 44.
Well, we are starting
story.
into the
So we got
4400.
we got
Fair,
lots of time
fair.
to make up.
Yeah,
for it.
no.
Don't you worry,
Absolutely.
Dustin.
I was getting
Don't
there.
you worry.
Okay, so morning prep. So yeah, so I don't know if you answered my question if you're nervous or not.
yeah. There's definitely some of it's just general. I don't know how to word it. Unhappiness. I don't know. Huh?
Jitters.
No, I'm just not excited to be up at that hour.
Oh,
Oh, okay, fair.
the hour thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, this has got to be like Christmas morning for you. I mean, your whole career's been built on this morning, Saturday fucking morning of KOH
Used
to
to be
win the
Friday.
4400 race.
So, obviously, I love racing, right? But to me, everything before the flag drops is not fun. Once the flag drops,
It's game on.
then it's fun.
Okay, that's fair.
So we had to eat, get dressed, get the catheter, get down to the car, talk to a few people, jump in the car, parade up, I hate that part of the race.
Really?
The way they do that, they should just. I get they do it for the fans, but for the racers, it is such a pain to have to get to your car, fired up, parade forward, park again, do the national anthem. Just pick a spot that you want us and let us be until it's time to go.
Gotcha.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
rant.
Yeah, it seems like the easy fix. We could just stage right into the real staging area, which is out on the short course.
Sure.
Right? Anybody that has their hands on the race car, I would hope is qualified at that point.
Sure.
To bring it in and park the thing.
Sure.
And it would get rid of the whole start, stop, start.
Got
it would
it.
put everyone where they want to be to do the national anthem, to show them on TV. So maybe someone out there is taking notes, but that's the way I would do it. Bring them right into staging, because we used to start effectively from Hammertown. We'd stage just like we do now. They'd bring the cars up to the line and start.
Gotcha.
So if they want to have them on parade, whatever, on display,
Yeah.
you could just roll them all the way out to where you wind up staging.
Yep.
The people that are authorized to be there can come and
Sure.
visit with the drivers, and then you're
Off
you're
you
moving
go.
once, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Historically, we did better this year because I had practice on Friday, and Nick's done a good job about getting me down there at, 7A. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't start until 8 a.m. I don't want to be with the car for an hour.
Right.
But they parade us at, 7:20, 7:30. So right in the middle of this hour that I don't want to be there, I've got to get in my car, and then I'm stressing out because I don't have my helmet on. And then they parade us up, and then we got another 20 or 30 minutes to sit around and wait. So
Sure.
it's painful. I'm not a fan of the way they do it.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting over the years that I've been media and been able to walk through that parade, like when you guys are on the short course and like minutes before you start the race, and it's like some drivers are so fucking focused in there, you give them a thumbs up or a fist bump and they're like, okay, I'm fucking thinking about the start, and then other drivers, like the Gomez and stuff are just fucking ready to party and just go. But I get it. Everybody's individual, and what you got to get. You're in your own headspace for that. Not knowing that it was going to be a 13 fucking hour race at that point, and you've already been in your car for an hour before. Yeah, that's wild.
I want to rock up 10 minutes before the flag drops and fasten my seatbelt and warm up the car and let me go.
Yeah. There you go. So, race starts. What's that start line like when you were, what did you
27th.
start? 22nd?
7th.
Oh, 27th. Okay.
So they lined me up next to Tad Dowker.
Yeah, Tad Dowker.
And Tad has this motor that Josh West built that's supposed to be like 1,000 horsepower or something like that. And I told Dustin, I don't know if I can beat this dude off the line. Like, I don't think I've lost the drag race from the starting line in I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
Usually I can out intimidate him if I can't out
Right.
out
Horsepower.
out motor him or out drive
Yeah.
him or out something, right? So Tad, we both hammered down, and he kind of got the jump on me a little bit, but it kind of had that little chicane.
Yeah, that
heading
little
out.
chicane right at the beginning.
So it was a little bit of a left, and he kind of had me, and we're still kind of side by side, and a little bit of a right, and he just kind of backed off, I guess. I don't know if he got intimidated or he was like,
Don't want to wad it up.
he's not going to give it up that easy. And
Yeah.
figured he'd just save it for later or what, but we beat him out into the desert. And promptly ended up running a goofy line that ran me into a ditch and got passed back by him. So out by Baldwin Hill, just over Baldwin Hill, I was in a line too far to the right and drove us into a big old G out hole, and he goes motoring around. I was frustrated about that, but yeah, anyway. Oh, then we get out like 5 or 6 miles, right?
Okay.
And there's all that G out cross
Oh
grain
yeah,
stuff.
5 mile G out that took out the golf carts.
We're motoring along, and there's the 77 car of Gordon, and that car is neon orange, right?
Yep.
And it's got orange flames coming off the top of the engine. I was like,
Spicy.
huh, how about that?
Meatballs.
Didn't make it very far.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they got it under wraps somehow because
They finished
yeah, sure enough.
Quotation.
well out of time, but they drug it across the
They got
finish
it
line.
there.
Did they finish the whole course though?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Question.
Anyways, okay, so you're off and running at this point, and I gotta imagine once you're like out of the short course and starting to get on to the desert. I mean, you got to be like in the zone at that point, and it's like we're racing now.
Yep, we got into our groove and just working the dust and running alternative lines and reading what direction the wind's going and doing all the things we have to do to navigate it out there. Then we get into aftershock, and I think we passed a couple cars in aftershock. We get down out of the bottom of aftershock and cross this wash, and you get up on this kind of cobbly hard pack road, and I'm getting after it, getting up 65 something miles an hour, and bang, the driver rear of the car bucks up in the air, and I'm like, what was that? And we pull off of the flat, and it somehow snagged the inner lip of the wheel. Just some embedded rock that didn't look like it should have been anything to us, but it wrapped the wheel up pretty good, hit the caliper and made a mess. And so we jump out, and we had, of course, with the bent wheel, it stopped right at the caliper, right where it got sticky.
Right.
So we ended up having to get back in the car, and I had to back it up.
Okay.
To let it off the jack and back it up half a rotation to get it where the wheel
get it
wasn't
off
all
the caliper.
bound in the caliper. But we got it changed out pretty quick and got going again. In the process of changing it out, Eric Wicks came by, and his rocket ship.
Right.
We reeled him back in pretty quick over by Emerson Ridge and realized he'd flatted 2 tires in aftershock.
Right.
And he'd changed out the front one, but he was still running the rear one. So we passed him at the bottom of Emerson Ridge and headed out back into the rest of our desert lap. And I don't remember anything super exciting happening on the rest of our first lap. More or less just.
So how much are you and Dustin chatting in the car? I mean, are you... Yeah, okay, hey, Dust, this, so-and-so, we got a G out, but, like, is it all race stuff at the beginning, or is it like, hey, what'd you have for dinner last night, or what'd you think of that movie, or is there small talk like that?
It's funny. We've talked about almost everything in the car racing over the years, from family life to race car ideas to racing motorcycles to, I don't know, like he and I are 25 days apart in age, and we've grown up together, we've been best buddies since we were 3 years old.
Right.
So at times over the day, mostly at the end, I don't want to skip way ahead, but like I told him to knock it off with the business, with the calling bumps and corners, and just chat with me. Let's talk about the day. Anyway, okay. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
No. Okay, that's good. That's good insight. And I mean, yeah, he's been in with you when you won before, and you guys have a lot of race miles together. So I was just curious what that.
Dustin started riding with me, I think, in 17.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I think 17 was his first year that he did it with me. So 17 to current, he's been my co-dawg.
Okay.
And he was a complete rock star this year.
Yeah.
I was concerned. We're both 48 years old, and I was concerned that he was going to get a little winded with all the winching that we were going to endure, but he never acted like it. So,
Well, as soon as you guys got off the stage and the congratulations were all done, I noticed he dipped out pretty quick.
well,
He was pretty tired.
he had pee-pee pants.
Oh, he had pee-pee
He had a date with
Okay.
a shower.
Okay, he had a date with a shower. Okay.
But as you pull into the desert, come off Emerson Ridge, was probably about the first time you told us that maybe you were smelling gear oil, or you had, right?
Okay. Yep. So when we came into Maine, you told me, no, it's not gear oil. And I was thinking, I've DNF'd too many races to smoke differentials. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what we're smelling. And when we came in, you said, no, it looks like we got engine oil coming out of maybe the rear main seal.
Right.
And immediately, I've had this run through this scenario before with somebody isn't paying attention to the crankcase breather when they put the engine skid on and pinch the crankcase breathers off. So Adam had built us this new catch can thing with the single little breather, little K&N breather filter on the can. And I was like, find that thing and cut all the hoses to it. Just open that thing up so it can breathe.
Yeah.
Because I think that thing was my motor's a stroker. It's a 4 1/8 stroke in a LS3 block, so we get 425 cubic inches. And those strokers, it pulls that piston skirt, the little tiny short piston skirt, pulls it out of the bottom of the sleeve, and like it creates a lot of windage and a lot of blow by and crankcase pressure.
Sure.
With that long stroke. So as soon as I was consulted or
We chatted about it.
Yeah.
as soon as I realized it was motor oil related, I knew I had a pretty good idea what it was, because that was a brand new engine. There's no reason for it to be leaking like that.
Right.
Yeah. So we gave her a quick snip at pit 1, and seemed more or less like that issue was resolved.
Yeah, I saw the drip.
You guys checked the oil level and said there was a quarter something low,
Yeah.
so we topped her up and went back to digging.
And then in pit 2, remote pit 2, you stopped and it wasn't leaking anymore. Or not as bad.
Or at least the consumption didn't seem to be
Yeah, I think you stuck it, right?
right.
I noticed that when we were in King's Vita with the broken drive shaft, I'm skipping ahead again, it was sitting on a funky angle and it seemed like it was leaking quite a bit. But I have some fuel cell foam that I shouldn't tell my secrets. Anyway, it's in the skid plate, and maybe it just collected some of that and it was slowly
Got it.
Yeah.
oozing out.
Yeah, especially at that angle. It had been pretty wet until we relieved the pressure there, so
Yeah.
that all makes sense. But yeah, so you left first pit at Maine, 67 miles in. We addressed those couple things, got a full load of fuel, and you took off on lap 2. So it's back out through remote pit, but this time when you got to the end, you had to turn towards the rocks.
Where you're at home.
Yeah, where we go hunting.
Where we go hunting.
Wabbits.
Love it.
Once the rocks start, that's where we start catching them and killing them.
So, I mean, lap 1 and 2 were pretty similar over the past few years of KOH, would you say? Or was there any...
1 and 2?
Yeah, laps 1 and 2.
Well, he means 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2 from the
Yeah,
last couple years.
yeah. I mean, there was nothing like out of the ordinary.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
following now. Yes. Yeah, lap 1 was abnormally short. It was 60-something miles, and it included aftershock, which we've had a assorted rock trail tossed in. Like last year, it was up Turkey Claw, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
right off the bat, which was a terrible scenario
You know
for
about turkey climber.
racers.
It's a bad idea. It's not fun to do,
a bad
but
idea.
it's
I
fun
thought
to watch.
Aftershock was primo. It was
Okay.
a downhill trail. They let us take all the bypasses. It was 30, 20 miles.
12 miles into the race.
Oh, it was only 12 miles into the
Yeah.
race? Man, I'm terrible with math.
Oh, boy.
But it allowed the air to clear enough, cars to get spaced out enough to where it wasn't a parking lot. That we only passed a couple of cars in there. On 4,400 day.
Yeah.
On 4,800 day, I didn't see a soul in there. It was weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. You started first.
Weird.
Well, you know what we missed at the start of lap 2 was backdoor.
Oh yeah. So so whose strategy was that? Or obviously you guys talked about this. So you had to hit go up backdoor at one point during the race.
The Joker line. or
Right.
Joker.
And there was a bounty. It got up to $14,500, and Wheeling Wine and Whiskey was donating a bottle of whiskey as well because we couldn't donate the $1,000 that Ian Johnson wanted. Sorry, we're not rich, Ian. So what was the thought process there?
So Dustin ran it up the flagpole with me at the pit when we were messing with the oil and stuff. And I was like, nah, screw that. Let's get out there and run. And then for some reason, when we left Maine and headed around towards back door, and I looked up in there and there was one car, I was like, I don't know what snapped in my brain, but I was like, maybe we should hit that right now. And Dustin's like, I think so. And so we like pulled up in there and the nacho car.
Yeah.
Let's roll. McLaughlin, Andrew McLaughlin
Andrew McLaughlin
was up in there, and I guess he'd been there for a few minutes trying to get the bounty line or whatever. And we pulled up on their right-hand side, and I put wheels on top, and just Dustin jumped out, and we started
winching.
going to town on it. And Dustin had me hooked up before that dude's co-driver was out.
Wow.
And then we were on top pretty quick. And then Dustin was unhooking about the time that co-dawg got up there to hook up. And I'm going to throw that guy under the bus. He was so indignant and so pissed off that Dustin wouldn't give him our winch extension.
Really?
He was ready to box about it.
You must have thought that it was just a set part of the
fixed-
course.
Like part of the fixed. Okay.
Something that didn't belong to you guys.
Right.
Did Warren do that this year? Because they used to have.
They do in certain places, but not there, not at backdoor.
Yeah,
I believe.
okay.
There was a dedicated anchor
Okay.
up there above the second ledge,
Okay.
which is what Dustin hooked our extension to, so we didn't have to drag all the cable out. But that guy was borderline nasty about Dustin not giving him our winch extension. So anyway, we got packed up and got out of there in quick order and got back to racing, and it worked out beautifully for us because for the next, I don't remember how many miles, for the next half an hour or something, we had clean air. It created this gap in the field where we didn't have anybody in front of us for quite a while.
That's great.
So most of the movers and shakers were out. They did not take it at the start of 2. And then, whoever you had made time or were pulling on was behind you. So it gave you a good little gap.
I was worried about Jackhammer, and when we got there, it was parking lot.
Yeah, parking.
And
lot. Oh my god.
I was like, oh man. And there were kind of 2 cars below, and I was able to weasel by on the left and hit this weird optional little pinch rock thing at kind of the gatekeeper to Jack. And then everybody was doing the Hammers bypass line way over on the right. And this line that I took was kind of, I would call it left of center, kind of the old crawler line. And then up to for whatever reason, the plaque line on Jack was unoccupied. So we just drove straight up and jumped up that, one shot at it, like passing all these cars, there was never a backup, never a moment's hesitation. I just picked off like 5 cars in a couple of quick moves. And then we were behind Waylon, and Waylon, I guess, didn't have reverse in his transmission. So he just sat there and rev limitered and threw rocks and dust in our face for a couple of minutes
He
until
was smoking the tires.
until we realized that he wasn't going anywhere, and we were able to back up and cross over from the extreme left line to the extreme right line. And I didn't think when we pre-ran the right line, Dustin could barely make it in Gold Digger with the rear steer and everything else. I didn't think it was going to be a viable line for us on race day, but evidently with all the traffic, that obstacle got beat down to the point where it was super drivable. I think maybe a car winched in front of us. I think, the Rambling Man helped me out. John Webb was right there.
The
and,
Rambling Man.
he drove it right in front of us. I was like, if that car can drive it, we can drive it. So sure enough, we drove straight up it and then checked out. The live feed completely missed it. They thought we were going to be stuck in that mess, and if you watch it, they lost us. They didn't know where we'd gone.
Right.
The drone zooms out to try to find
They
you. and they're
did.
Like, we can't find him. We
Ian
can't find him.
Johnson's
Where is he?"
asking the drone to zoom out, and they keep, Randy's got to be back here, and then they're like, nope.
He go.
There you
The
go.
tracker shows that he's way ahead. Like, see ya.
So I was worried about that one, and it ended up not being a thing. And then the next big move that I was worried about was going down dead blow. Well, we're skipping way ahead again. We got into King's Veto at the beginning of 3, right?
Yes.
And there was a bunch of traffic and there was a bunch of people, and I got sidetracked for a split second, hit the gas, and boom, broke the rear drive line. And I was like, oh no.
Wait, what about the Ram in Maine? Not talking about that?
The steering
There's
ram?
so many stories.
Okay.
I know.
I just figured finish out lap 2 and then go to 3.
So you changed out one ram, one of 3 rams on lap 2
Right.
So at the
in the main.
end of lap 2 at Maine, we came in and we'd been noticing this little puff of smoke just here and there. And I was like, am I seeing, is it dust or is it actually smoke? It was on the kind of the driver's side. And so I think we called into the pit and we're like, do you remember what I said, Nick? We've got some kind of leak.
Yeah, I remember hearing about the Ram. Obviously, we had time to prepare to get one, but so maybe I didn't hear the first call. Could have gone to remote. Because you had that interesting layout where there were only 2 pit stops on 4,400 day at main pit, but by the end of the race you had 5 at remote, right? You were coming through it and back through it on every subsequent lap. So we wound up changing the Ram on main second time through, the first one. And that by the time I heard from you, I remember that call being pretty direct because we had enough time to go steal one off of the 4848 car in the tent and get it back down to main well in advance of your arrival.
Right. I think I was told the pit was 8 minutes in that time.
Yeah, we had good stopwatch on it. The entire pit was 9 minutes flat. And so got full fuel.
With changing a ram.
Yeah, full fuel, rear tires, and the steering ram.
How do you bleed it that fast? Because
Jack
it
it up
bleeds
while you're
pretty
still
fast when it's running.
tightening down bolts.
when it's running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Full
Yeah.
lock, full lock, full lock. Is it
Yeah.
still full of oil? Sweet, send
Yes.
us.
Send it. Okay. All right. Okay. First steering ram.
First steering ram. In hindsight, Amber thought that possibly it wasn't the seal. Possibly it was just a
Fitting.
faulty Boss O-ring seal. not seal. The Boss O-ring fitting where it screws into the ram. She thought maybe wasn't doing its job. It'd be interesting to figure that out or try to in the aftermath. But while they were doing that, I had the bright idea, since we're sitting here and we got time, let's put 2 tires on the back of it, because I know in years past when I've won how ragged rear tires get. So the boys were able to hustle around and find me a couple of tires and put on the back, and I think it really played to our advantage. We saw later in the race how some of the other competitors had steel belts hanging out.
Oh my God.
We've never seen that before.
That was big.
And I was talking to somebody after the race, and they made a good point. IFS cars are spinning tires faster because they don't have that ground pressure, right, on the tires. So that made sense to me, but it was the rear tire, I think, on Paul Wolf's car that was smoked, or Lauren's
and
car.
Healy's, yeah.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Healy's car, there was steel belt showing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I that makes sense to me, but it was a rear tire.
Yeah, and I think that anyone that was watching the live feed there on lap 3, and it's obviously human nature. If you're in a single seat car, you're going to try a few extra times or a little harder before you're like, crap, by the time I need to get out of this thing and
That's true,
rig
too.
myself. So you could see Paul was really working it, and that dude drove his ass
Holy
off.
hell.
It was unbelievable watching Paul in Ballpeen, because it sounds like he only winched maybe once at the bottom and wound up driving the rest
Right.
of that trail. But you could see in all that loose, especially all those virgin trails, you had just a whole bunch of jagged rocks. These are rocks that haven't been tumbled around by
No.
tires, haven't
they
been
weren't.
being run over. I mean, they were sharp, they were loose, and they were nasty. So when he was battling through a lot of that stuff, I mean, it just ate his tires alive. And then Lauren's deal, at one point they were saying on the live feed that perhaps he was having winch issues, but I think he was just having a lot of wheel spin, beating on it
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So whether it had more to do with the car, I mean, those cars are heavier too.
Yeah.
The race compound tires, even across manufacturers, are going to be somewhat similar. But when you're just, they have more resistance, right? You're pushing more weight.
Right.
And just the
A lot more
jagged
horsepower.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot of power. The jagged nature of those fresh trails, I think, had a lot to do with it.
Sure. Yeah. No doubt
The
about
goat
it.
trail out of Check Me Out. At the beginning of the day, it was kind of just like a cobbly, somewhat steep, gravelly dirt road type thing. By the end of it, the diff's practically dragging in the middle of the trail. And it's just like silt ruts with boulders.
Wow.
It's crazy how tore up things get. And you literally, if you tried to crawl and keep constant traction, you just sit there and spin. So you just have to attack it, and you're just blowing the tires off and roosting. It's crazy.
Jesus.
And that's not the only spot that's like that.
Sure.
Wow.
So that gets us out of Maine the last time
Okay.
at the start of lap 3, and then shortly after remote pit at the start of lap 3 was King's Veto.
Yeah, just straight out of remote pit. We went into Vito and broke the rear drive shaft. And I got out and looked under there, and the drive line had swung around off the output of the T-case and smashed one of the fans and broke the other fan on the transmission cooler, which is down there. And at that point, I didn't feel like I was in it. I didn't feel like I was a threat to begin
Really?
with. And then with that break, I was pretty much ready to throw in the towel.
Shit.
And Dustin said, "We got the parts. Let's put them on and keep going." So we did. And Dustin did most of the swap. I pulled the spare drive line. Fortunately, we were carrying one. A lot of the cars, we don't have a spare drive line. I pulled the spare drive line off the back of the car, and he pulled the broken drive line off, and we worked on getting it all back together. And mid reinstall, one of the Miller brothers came by and tried to drive over the front of my car, and Dustin's underneath it, and we told them where to stick it. So we got it all back together, got back in. I don't know where we were at that point. You told us we were doing good, but
Yeah.
I felt
Physically 11th at that point.
I felt like we were way back in the field. You'd told me that Dowker was 45 minutes ahead or something crazy, and I didn't feel like we were in it at all at that point. But we got back after it. We jumped up Vito pretty easy with a good drive line, and then straight over to Zandy's Z-Walk and up Z-Walk, and then up over Fissure and hit all the fishing holes and goofy little sideline stuff off of Fissure Mountain Trail up there. And then's when it gets fun. I love Dead Blow.
Yeehaw.
And you had a little surprise waiting for you at the bottom.
We start dropping into Dead Blow, and we're right behind the Lasernet car, Cody Wagner's car, and I'm having
Damn
flashbacks to 21 when I won last, right? Because we passed Cody's car in Dead Blow, pretty much exactly the spot. Cody's car broke in the spot where we caught it this year. So they got it winched out of that spot without breaking it, fortunately. And we passed them. And then we passed one of I guess it was Pip. I think Pip, if I understood right from the live feed today when I was watching it, Pip was lost. I think he was on his lap 2 and started down Dead Blow. I don't know if he was following somebody or what, but he shouldn't have been down there. He was on his side, stuck. Then we passed. I don't remember who the next car was. There was another car right there.
Would it have been one of the side-by-sides? Because when you were doing the drive line, you mentioned 48 came back by you, Dan Fresh, when the drive line was broken.
Yeah.
And one of the side-by-sides. And then I think they, somewhere along the way, on your way between Fissure and Dead Blow, you kind of either got right up to them or just past them again.
We started reeling dudes in on Dead Blow. Dead Blow's a place that I'll take my race car and drive down just for funsies. I like that stuff.
Tee-hee.
So we'd already pre-run it that week. We'd been out in Gold Digger and screwing around on trails. We're just running everything so we could, as much as we could, have fresh memories, fresh eyes on things.
Yeah, it was fortuitous because it just seemed, based on where lap 2 was, that it was likely that was going to come up. It's one of your favorite trails anyway, so yeah, we got lucky in that regard that it wound up being included. Could have had them go up it though. That would have been real interesting.
Yeah. So when we got down to the bottom there at Ballpeen, Ballpeen is something I'd never seen before, never played on, never scoped out. It's intimidating. Dave on the live show said he wanted to call it Tombstone or something like that because there's just these massive, massive rocks at the bottom. So, it was a parking lot. There was 5 or 6 cars. The golf cart was flipped over in the middle. The Gomez's are running up and down the hill, winching in each other. And Dustin said, "Hey, what do you think about that that big rock on the right? Shoot that wall, and if you can hook your tire around it on the driver's side, then we can hook you up and drag you up on top of it, and then we're by all these guys." And I was like, "Let's go." So there's a video online of this. I drove up it as far as I could, and I wasn't happy with that, so I backed down. I must have done that 5 or 6 times. Yeah. One of the ones in the middle, I was high enough up on it. I was like, man, if I hit it just a little bit higher, I bet I can drive this line. I'm not even going to have to winch. And so I hit it a couple more times, and every time I did it, it seemed like it got worse. It's just the more you dig up those rocks, right, the more it just turns to marbles and gets dusty and slick. And I was going backwards instead of forward. So we got her hooked up and started winching, and then the angle of the winch line started trying to pull me over, roll me off that rock, and it started wheeling the passenger front. And I wasn't feeling good. So Dustin's like, "Do front dig." So I turned her downhill, threw her in front only, and did a little peel out and drove back under itself, got that tire settled back down, and then threw it back and forth and kept winching and got up on top of that thing. And fortunately, those Gomez boys, there's two of them right there together, nose to tail, and they were scrambling around winching themselves, and we just drove right by them. And then we had virtually clean air all the way up Ballpeen.
Yeah, so at that point, I think, so going down dead blow, physically you were in 11th, but by the time you got to the bottom and at that time, basically saw everyone else. Lauren had come through first. He was still working his way up.
Dowker.
Yeah, Dowker was up there, and Paul maybe by that time had taken over first, so he was at the top.
Paul
I'm not
was
sure if
up.
you saw him at that point yet.
Yeah.
But I mentioned...
And maybe Blyler might have been up and ahead of us too.
That's true too, because at that point his tracker wasn't working, so he wasn't on the radar really at all. We just almost forget about him, right? I don't think he had a working tracker all day until the final stretch of the race from remote back into the finish. They wound up swapping a tracker from the freight factory from Josh's rig.
Okay.
So it went from Josh to Josh. I guess that's fair.
Interesting.
But yeah, so we had almost no visibility on Blyler unless they were showing him on the screen at that time. So that makes sense that he could have been in the mix as well.
He and I swapped back and forth a few times, coming down from Wrecking Ball and over to Jack North. He passed me. He's flying. And then we got down to that Laser Nut Alley and the weird optional line straight up the side of the hill there above Chocolate Thunder. And he was up on top of there digging and winching. And Dustin's like, if you drive around that hole on his right-hand side, I think you go straight up there. And I was like, it doesn't look like anything to me. So we backed up on that plateau there below the climb and gave the onion, and it went up that thing like it was flat. Wow. I think we were one of two cars, based on everything I've seen, that climbed that thing. I guess Waze made it up too, but everybody else was winching. I'm not sure why our BFG shod cars just drove up it like it was flat. But
and you know how videos are, because everyone that's seen that now coming out, it doesn't look like anything. But 30 minutes before, Lauren was stuck in the line that Blyler was stuck in, and Paul was stuck right next to him on the right side. And when you're looking at it with the drone shot, it just looks like the cars are just sitting. It did it no justice. Obviously, there was something going on there.
It was steep.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is hit it. Momentum's your friend.
Pick it and stick it.
Race car things.
Race car.
Hit it with your purse. There was some random RCP up there at the top of Chocolate Thunder, I guess, that you had hit.
There were two or three, and there was basically no line because there'd been, two cars, Lauren and Paul had driven across up there at that point.
Okay.
Right. So we're just wandering around. Dustin's like, it's over there somewhere. I'm just like, okay, all right, we got that one. Okay, now it's over there somewhere. No, just whatever. And by that time, it was basically dark, so we're just wandering around hunting Pokemon,
Gotta catch them all.
You're geocaching out there in the desert.
Invisible
Right.
spots in space.
Yeah. And your tracker lights up when you hit the RCP or whatever, right?
So sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, see,
Those trackers are junk.
Yeah. Damn.
Which is why it's important for you to start your own track
Yeah.
and keep
That's
a
right.
record of your own track when you're racing.
So then
Side
we
note.
did the whole amphitheater. What's that thing called?
Arena?
The arena.
Arena.
Ran the arena over to the 5-minute trail, which I'd never seen, never heard of.
Takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's only 5 minutes.
And that thing brought the business.
Oh, boy.
It was steep. It was deep. It was bouldery. It was legit.
Wow.
And, we pull up in there and we can see, I think we had, for sure Lauren was up in there in front of us.
Okay.
Maybe he was the only car on course at that point. That
Was
we
it
could
dark by
see.
now?
Yeah, it was dark.
Yeah.
So we could see the lights up in there. and we just start, drive into this thing blind, never seen it before, like literally never seen it before. And
In the dark.
just playing what we see, playing it, Well, we
Point
need
it as there's an RCP over there. Go hit that, more or less.
Well, there wasn't much for RCPs in that trail, I don't think. But you're just looking up the thing going, well, there's the waterfall. We're going to have to split this gap. And, there's a big rock anchor right there. And you winch up that. And then, well, we can probably get out the side over here and go around that rock. And then we're back in the gut. And I think I had to winch once in the bottom and then drove out to where Lauren was and got around him. And I think we might have winched 2 or 3 times before we got out of it.
I wish the listeners could see your hand motions right now because
Yeah,
that was the best little
like
graphic.
Italian.
Yeah. You can see the whole trail just laid out
Right.
with his hand. It was perfect.
So we got, before I got to the top of that one, before I winched the last one, I realized that I'd got a ram again. And this time I knew I earned it. I knew I'd scarred the shaft up and taken the seal out. So we got up on top of the 5-minute trail loop. And I was like, I need oil, Dustin. So he splashed me a quart of oil and we went down the face of it. When we got to the bottom, Ben Nappy here and Justin Marquand were down there, and Ben passed us a couple of waters. I watched it on the live feed today. I thought we stopped and talked to him for a second, but it looks like we were on a mission. We pulled up, grabbed waters. He said stuff to us, but I wasn't stopped on screen long enough to to remember what he said.
Not any kind of competitive advantage, by the way.
No, it was something to the effect of Dave shortened the course, pertinent information
Yeah.
to what we're doing. So we headed up the next one, which was another one I'd never seen, which took us over to, somebody called it slip and slide, and somebody else on the live feed called it something else today. I was watching. Anyway, we had to put
Bunch of new trails.
another quart of oil in it to get to the top of that. Somewhere near the top of Full of Hate, we put another quart of oil in it and started down Full of Hate. Then Lauren started catching us again, and there was this weird hidden RCP below this pinch rock where you can't drive an Ultra 4 car through. Even my car is small. You can't get through there.
Wow.
Samurai will do it.
Samurai will do it.
Watch 24 Hell and Back. That's part of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it's the pinch rock up towards the top
Where
of Full of
Holly
Hate.
smashes the quarter panel.
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah,
the-
yeah.
That one.
What trail is that? That's
Full of Hate.
Full of Hate.
Full of Hate.
Yeah, we go
Full of
up, and
Hate's
in the race
pretty
we went
gnarly,
down.
Yeah.
So I got down in there, and I'm looking at optional lines to get out and around, and Lauren comes smashing down in there, and he realizes he's not getting through that thing, and I kind of backed up driver right, and he's in front of me flailing around, and then he tries to shoot this thing out of this little notch we're in, driver left side, and he gets way tipped up driver's side super high.
Right.
And then I'm like, he's going to roll. He's going to roll on me. So I jam it in reverse and back up 2 or 3 feet so the tail of his car clears the nose of my car, and we watch him roll down. We had the front row seat for this wild show. He's on his side. He's turning this way and that way. He's rev limiting. The car's spinning around on its side like a top.
Yeah.
And he goes slamming into those 2 massive rocks and comes to a stop, and we're like, whoa, that was wild. So I just back up, pick a line out the side, go around, back into that RCP, pick that thing up, and we're out of
And
there.
off we go. Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
So we're working our way on down
that was...
Full of Hate.
Yeah.
And right before the bottom, all of a sudden there's this massive oil slick. And I was like, there's only one car that could have left that mess.
Oh, no.
Sheesh.
Paul Wolf. That looks like the mark of death, or I don't know which one to
Yeah.
say. Kiss of death right there.
Yeah.
Sure enough, as soon as we hit Clawhammer, the car was down there and they were out of it, and well, he was out of it. So we cruised up Clawhammer and up Nightmare and down Blue Dot and over here and over there, and we kept having to stop and throw a cord in it here and there. I had 6 quarts of oil in the car, and we put 5 of them in to make it to pit 2.
Wow.
Yeah, at some point in all that, I guess once you started adding that much oil, got on the horn and let us know that it was that time again.
Yep.
Time to find another Ram. Luckily, we had one more bomber in the tent, the second place finisher from the day before.
Right.
So we reconvened at the front end of there, snagged another Ram, sent it out to remote. But meantime, special shout out for Andrew on our crew. He's driving a bomber. He's got it out at remote. And he heard all the traffic on the radio between Dustin and I.
Okay.
And called me, and he's like, "Hey, I've got, I think I have the same Ram on the front of my car."
Oh.
And I was like, "Well, you're already there. Who knows what'll happen between
Sure.
point A and B? If
Get
you're
ready.
willing, rip that sucker off."
Yeah.
And he did. So
Wow.
we got the Ram off of 70. He got the Ram off of his Starbat bomber, and we sent it on its way. Our care package made it before the race car made it.
Oh, no kidding.
So then Andrew said he's out there with our crew. He looks around and he's like, "Well, I guess this is a good opportunity for a practice run." So he grabbed all the guys. He's like, "Let's put this thing back on."
Oh, goodness.
So they went ahead and reinstalled his Ram before. They got to kind of dry run through the process.
So yeah, a little
Oh.
practice. Okay, I like that.
Wow.
They hadn't been with us in Maine when we changed the Ram earlier,
Right.
but they got in a little practice run of their own.
Okay.
Quick, fast, in a hurry, put the Ram back on his car. The one from 70 made it in. Sometime later, I guess, we'll get there in Randy's story. He pulls into remote and was looking for it. So
Wow.
That's how
That's
that went down.
From the time that we made it out of the 5-minute trail, the up part of the 5-minute trail, till we made it down the face, up the next trail, down that thing, up the slip and slide thing, down Full of Hate, up Claw and Nightmare, down Blue Dot Thor's Hammer, up Upper Big Johnson, down whatever it is over to the sand thing,
Off ramp.
off ramp,
Yeah.
and back to the pit. Felt like 2 hours. It was painful. We were just crawling along, and I'm driving the car as long as I can with the oil that, it drives good for a little while, and then it all leaks out, and it starts getting notchy, and I can't drive it fast because I can't drive it precise.
Sure.
And we're picking our way along in the dark on a trail that I'd never driven, and then till I can't Armstrong it anymore, and I'm kind of thinking we're out this whole time, like we're not, there's no way we're in contention anymore. This is just not a, I was thinking recovery mission. It's more of a survival thing than it is a race at this point. We're just like eking along foot at a time. This isn't how you're supposed to race.
Then again, when was the last time King of the Hammers finished in the dark?
Well, never.
Never.
Yeah. So
And what time of the night is this? Like, do you know? Like, are we an hour before the finish? Is what I'm kind of gathering, or
I bet this was in the 7 o'clock hour.
oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
so this is a couple hours before the finish.
I bet all this experience that he's
Okay.
having.
Okay.
Yeah.
It got dark.
Right around the
got-
time you passed Blyler, it was just, the sun was just tucking.
Correct.
behind
So
me.
Chocolate Thunder-ish, it was dusky, right? Mm-hmm. And shortly after that, it was dark. So when we put eyes on the 5-minute trail for the first time, it was mostly dark. And by the time we got up out of there, it would have been 6:30,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
So we're just crawling along, and it doesn't feel like any race I've ever been in. We finally make it back to 2, and the ram change didn't go near as smooth as it did at main pit earlier in the day. It felt like it took twice as long. They said that there was a bent bolt, and it didn't come off as smooth and nice as they wanted it to. And but they got it back on, and we bled it, and I had good steering again. And they, I have to shut the car off, which is like rule number 1 is you don't shut the car off.
Yeah.
But you can't take
bleed. Yeah.
You can't take the ram off and
Yeah.
have an open steering system with the motor running. So I fire it back up, and instantly I've got a check engine light, and I've got some weird rattle
Oh shit.
that I haven't heard before. And the fact that there was a check engine light and a rattle had me really worried, because it's like something electrical related, something motor related, is causing this check engine light, and I hear a noise related to it. But in the haste to get moving, and the pit crew drops the cone or whatever, go, I like peel out, and then I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, Mr. Hartman, my old crew chief Scott Hartman, taught me you never leave the pit without a good car. And so I drove pretty much all the way down to the other end of the pit, and then I shut it off. And I was like, we got to figure out what this is. It can't just go out half cocked. We can't go back out into the desert and be alone with no help. Mm-hmm. So we stopped there, and we had really poor communications with the pit on the radio. Some random dude, I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you who he was. He was like, "What do you guys need?" I was like, "Do you hear a weird noise?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe it's your fan." And I was like, "Well, a fan makes sense for this noise that I'm hearing, but it doesn't make sense why the check engine light would be on." So he goes, "Well, I'm going to unplug that fan and see if the noise goes away." And he does something. We sit there for a couple minutes, and he's like, "No, nothing changed." And I'm like, "All right, well, screw it. Let's go." So we peel out, and what do we do? Is it Aftershock again, or was
Aftershock?
Aftershock.
Check me in,
check me out. 19 and 20. So it's still several trails. So we go and rock crawl the trails. In Check Me Out, we got to climb that rutted out nasty thing again. I was talking about earlier, where you're like dragging your diffs in the freaking cobble. So get up to the top of that, and then at the top of that, you turn left, and it takes you up onto the ridge for 20, like up at the top of the end of 20. And as I'm climbing up to the top of the end of the 20, it feels like the tranny misses a shift or something like that. And I'm like, oh no, like
Ruh-roh.
We've been beating this car for however many hours, and now she's going to fail on us. So we crawled the rest of the trails. We got out in the desert. We're running fine. No other hiccups. But I'm like, Dustin, I'm going to get to Emerson Ridge, and I'm going to put the thing in low range and just really baby this transmission. So we get over Emerson in low range, get down the backside, and we're running like 50 miles an hour, where we'd been running 80 and 90 and 100 earlier in the day. I just want to get home, right? So I'm looking in the rear view, and there's several different spots where the course like does a 180 where you can see back to Emerson Ridge. So we're looking for lights behind us. Jumping back a little bit, when we were on our way to 19 and 20, the pit called and said, "We're packing up. Good luck. You guys have been out on the trail for 17 minutes or something since you left, and nobody's come into this pit yet." So I was like, all right, we got a lot of air between us and the next guy. So we're just cruising home, half pace. And I jumped ahead earlier and was talking about this, and we got off of the subject again. But Dustin's like all business, calling every bump, calling every turn. I'm like, bro, knock it off. I said, I don't need you to call stuff when I'm going half speed. This car can handle all of that on its own. I said, tell me about your day. Tell me about your highs and lows. How about Lauren crashing in front of us? How about this? How about that? How about this pass over here? And we're just, I don't know if I was delirious. I don't know if I was coming down from the craziest high of my life. I don't know what it was. But something about this race and the intensity and the surviving this this marathon of a rock race. I didn't want it to end. It was so cool. And, I just wanted to savor the moment. I wanted to kind of come down off this high slow and enjoy it and nurse it to the end. I don't know. I'm not describing it right, but we just chatted the whole final, 20 something miles in, going half of the speed that we could have been going, partially to save the car, partially because nobody was behind us, partially because I just didn't want it to end.
Wow. That's freaking cool. Holy hell.
Wild ride.
So you're okay. So what point did you realize or get radio contact that you were in first place or gonna possibly win this thing?
Well, we knew we were in third, and then we were in fourth, and then we were in third, and then we passed Lauren and we were in second, and then we found Wolf.
Yeah, Paul.
And we knew he was done based on the huge oil stain on the rocks. So we knew we were in first. There was some kind of communication. Nick would know what that was better than me at this point. The pit said we had at least 17 minutes of clean air. Nick at one point came in with they're maybe 10 miles behind you or 10 minutes behind you or something like that. But I kept looking in my rear view, and every chance we did a 90-degree turn and we could look over our shoulder, it's like, there's no lights back there.
Wow.
Nowhere. And I'm not sure if I was looking for Lauren or if I was looking for Blyler. But I knew both of those guys that started ahead of me, and I knew as long as they didn't pass me that we got it. So we just cruised her on in, nice and easy.
Nice and easy. So what was it like coming through the Bronco Arch, coming down, seeing the lights of Hammertown, knowing that you had this thing?
Well, I never want to count my chickens before they hatch. I never want to, we think we have it, but we've had issues with RCPs,
Sure,
and red cards and silly things in the past, so you never really know. But when we got to the infield and we got out of the car, we spent 20 minutes before Blyler showed up.
Yep.
Just doing interviews and talking with our friends, and one of the King fellas came up with their phone. They had a rebate on.
Yeah, Rebay was there talking about the shock tuning.
On
Pretty great.
what do you call that? The
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
So I'm chatting with the rebate on FaceTime, and then we do a interview with Dirt World Sports. I don't know,
Yeah.
some dude, and this, that, and the other thing. Brett King comes down,
Right.
and Nate's there and gives
It was
us
Brett's birthday,
hats.
I was
and
going to say it was the
all
best
the-
birthday present for Brett.
all the BFG guys, the whole crew's down there milling around, congratulating us, and so finally they tell us, all right, it's time. Blyler's here. It's time for you to move up. So
Yeah.
we get up on the stage and do that whole thing, and before we're even done, shaking hands and kissing babies, they tell us that they've run our trackers back and that our course is clean, and awarded us the trophy right then and there.
Right. And when did it set in that you were a 4-time king?
I don't know if it has yet.
Fair.
And let's see. And we're recording this on a Wednesday? Thursday? Wednesday after yeah.
This is less than 4 or 5 days out from the race.
Right. Holy smokes, yeah. Pretty freaking cool. So 2013 was your first Hammers.
Victory.
First win.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, I don't know if you guys know how this podcast thing works, but Jay bribes us over here with steak dinner and then steals our soul with the...
I wouldn't go that far.
Anyway, I was telling him how this race means more to me than the first win. You know, the first win is so cool.
Right.
And the second win, you know, once you win once, all you want to do is win again. Like anything less than a win is a failure. Second place, first loser.
Yeah.
Like throw that trophy in the trash.
Yeah.
We don't want it. But you know, you want to win, but the second one's never like the first one. It's kind of it's like the drugs, you know, or the alcohol or anything else. The first one's always the best, and you always try to get back to that, but it's never like that. But this one's different because it was so hard, because it was such a battle, because it was so long, because we endured so much to get there. It was just this next level crazy height, and now I've finally done it. I've separated myself from the rest of the guys with I'm the 4-time champ, and you know, maybe there'll never be another 4-time champ.
Sure.
Shannon's gonna retire. I heard Shear's retiring. You know, Lauren would have to get 2 more. The Gomez guys, they're old like me too. They'd have to get 2.
So that was one of the questions I had. It was like, I know you were kind of superstitious about odd years because you were 13, 15, and 21. And so last year, you know, you were like, oh, this is my year and I'm going to make this happen and everything's lining up. And then it didn't happen. And then here we are, an even year. And
I did pull the EMC win in 24.
You did pull the
somewhere along the line.
You did.
We've shook in the even year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you know, there's, you know, Shear is a great example. He's at CrossFit all the time and working out with Berger, you know, at CrossFit Sally. And, I mean, it's an endurance, and it's not, you're not just turning a wheel and pushing pedals. It's a physical demand. And then 13 fucking hours in a car.
It's a 13-hour car crash.
It's a 13-hour car crash.
Properly.
Exactly. It used to be an 8-hour car crash. Now it's a 13-hour car crash, apparently.
Yep.
And, yeah.
13 hours is way more rewarding than 6 or 7.
Oh,
or 8 or
100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, and maybe why part of it feels special too. So you were in the winning car the first time this race ever happened, but you weren't the driver, and you are a driver. So I'm sure that feels secondary always. As far as being a 3-time king.
No, go ahead.
You were the last 3-time king. There were 2 3-time kings at the point when you won your third. So you joined that party late. But here you are now, and so for the first time, you're in completely uncharted territory on top of the world. So I think it's awesome, dude. We have such a cool group of friends and family, right, that support you racing. Everyone shows up. Everyone's there for a reason. And we knew you're always capable of this. To see it finally come together has just been incredible. And aside from all the other reasons, you know, to be happy, to be excited, we're all very proud of you, dude. It's killer.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
During the week, Adam, that follows Amber around, the video guy, I don't remember how he worded it, and I'm going to butcher it up, but he said, you guys get...
more wins per dollar.
Yeah. He saw, you know, what we do with what we've got and was very impressed with it. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that spend millions of dollars to be there and to try to buy that win. And when it comes right down to it, you can't buy it. It comes down to heart, lifestyle, dedication. We live this life. We live this world. Amber and I take our junk Toyota and junk Samurai out in the hills and see how stuck we can get just because it's fun to get them unstuck.
Right?
True story.
No, and that is a great point because there's been, and not naming any names, there's been people that have tried to buy a win, legitimately, right? Like buying the best car or whatever, or a winning car of KOH, and like, okay, we got the secret weapon to do this thing. No, that doesn't work. And I was amazed when I first met you and understood your race program of how underfunded you were. I thought you were like, oh, he's got millions of dollars coming in and everything's comped and all this free shit's coming, and Randy's like, nope, that's not the case. We are just we build some cars, we go out and race, and that's what we do. And you've gotten some more support over the last couple years, Freight Factory and stuff, but holy hell, it's not what people think, right? Like on the outside that don't know and go, they're if he wins or not, he gets all this money. No, that's not how this worked.
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing that stood out for me was we went down for the rookie program a couple years ago, and all these different drivers gave speeches, and Jason Shear was talking about how he doesn't have a pre-runner. He has to pre-run in his race car. And then Randy gets up on the stand and he's talking about, he doesn't pre-run in his race car because he's got this badass Gold Digger rear steer car that he can go and pre-run in. And it's like, he sounds like there's so much money involved, but in reality, we just, that's what we do is we build these cars.
Right.
And that's how we make our money is we have to build these cars. We don't have money just coming in. We have to work really hard for this stuff.
Well, and everything's for sale right now, right?
Everything's for sale right now.
The only way I can afford to build a new one is to sell the old one.
Sell the old one, yeah. 100%. 100%. It comes back to grassroots, racing, and you've been fortunate to design and build this killer rock crawling car that obviously dominated over the years and proved itself, and then you've become a great driver, navigating KOH, and I love it because it's it's what you do. I mean, this is your thing. This is the passion. It's just, you want to go wheel, and you summed it up on the stage. It was like, that was my best day of wheeling.
Yeah. And
that's what that really, my takeaway is what this race is all about. It's because it's all hardcore, well, I shouldn't say all. Most of the guys there are hardcore rock crawlers, and this thing's evolved into this race, right? And, you got the desert, you got the other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a rock crawling race, and that's what it was meant to be. And it kind of went away from that for a little while,
Certainly.
And it was so good.
A couple of golf carts.
And then the golf carts came in.
Took a couple of golf carts to show the promoter where we were going wrong,
to shake it up, and it was like, okay, we need to get back to our roots. And goddamn, for the 20th anniversary, this was a Cinderella story. It really was. There was always the, it'd be great if somebody would become a 4-time king, and there was 3 people in that arena, right? They could do that, and here we are talking about it now. So it's freaking awesome how it all worked out.
So for the 20th race, I've got 20% of the wins now.
Right.
Not counting the JR ride along, which would make it 25%.
There you go. Doing the math. You've been at all 20 races.
Yeah.
So with that said, from the grassroots of racing for a 12-pack of beer or whatever it was that first race to where it is now, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously nobody knew where this thing was going to go and end up. Here we are talking about it in 2026. But what's kind of your looking back to where it started to where it is now? What are you thinking?
when I built the first bomber in my little 2-car garage in Colton, I wanted it to be long, low, mean, and fast. I want it to look fast, sitting still. You know, I had all these dreams. I want it to look like a Class 1 desert car, but 4-wheel drive, more or less. And so that was my goal when I built it. And it's crazy to think that from 2008, from the first bomber, that I'm still building essentially the same chassis. And we've just made refinements, and we're still competitive today. And not only that, but we touched on, you know, how at the beginning of the week with Foley's crash and the good press we got off of that, you know, then to qualifying first, then to leading the race, then to Amber's second place finish, then to the main race and winning it, you know. But not only that, 2 of the 4 top cars still moving out there. You know, there was my car, and then Justin Wicks was still out there battling my car that I won in 2013, the very first win. He was second or third car moving on course when everything shut down. Helped me out with
Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith was still out there battling.
Bought a crate of tubes and put it together, a bomber chassis.
Homebrew.
Total homebrew.
We tacked the chassis together for him, and he drove out from Texas and picked it up. And then he bought our axle set up, and he bought our exhaust, and he bought our shock package, and he bought, I gave him a ride in the car, and he was so blown away. He went home and just kind of copied the parts list and put his car together, and he's been doing great in it.
So what's that feel like to know? I mean, you built your own cars and raced your own cars, but to have other people have success in your chassis and your cars that you designed.
It's been awesome. It's been like 5 or 6 years in a row now. EMC has either been won by a bomber or been second place. I think we got 3 or 4 wins in 2 or 3 seconds over the last 6 years or something like that. I wish I could remember exactly what the stat is, but Dan Fresh won it.
Caprera.
The Caprera kid won it.
Yeah.
I won it. Amber's come second twice. Scott Foley came second.
Yeah.
So there's been bombers first and second in EMC 4800 for 5 or 6 or 7 or something years. We've been super dominant for just being a little mom and pop shop on the corner of my property. I'm pretty proud of what we've done.
Hell yeah.
And that it's interesting too to me that, you know, has some experience in other forms of racing and off-road racing. What's so cool about Ultra 4 is that you go out and walk that line at startup and things just don't look the same, right? There's still several ways that people are trying to solve this problem, and that's really neat because it's not like going to the Baja 1000 and looking at the trophy truck class and other than colors, you know, and a couple of fiberglass shapes here and there. At least to the naked eye, right? To the public, they're looking at these cars and they're thinking they look the same. But what you can see when you're at an Ultra 4 race is that maybe the quite perfect idea isn't figured out, or maybe it is, and maybe it's a bomber.
Well, obviously, I think you look back and I don't have the stats on this, but solid axles for the win. Has been dominating, and you know they throw the hardest. I mean, this arguably was the hardest hammers ever. And hello, solid axle first place, solid axle second place, third place went to Paul Wolf. Apparently, but 2 cars finished in time, but. Anyways, Paul put on a hell of a fucking show too. Not to discount anything, but you know, solid axles definitely were the recipe for this. You know, for KOH, it's just, it's freaking cool. Yeah. And and you mentioned it earlier, Randy, Eric's new car, that thing is a fucking weapon. It's beautiful to look at and everything. Independent front, solid rear. But yeah, I just don't know. It's a lot of luck's got to go on your side too, but it just seems like solid axles still do well out there in the rocks.
Making solid axles great again.
Right? That was so good when you were up on stage and they were shouting that, solid axles.
Yes.
Yeah. So, takeaways from, this KOH and the mystery lap 3. Do you like that or not? This is the second year of it. Does it add any anxiety, or you're just like, let's go wheeling?
I love it.
Yeah.
I am completely comfortable and confident driving into anything that anybody else has ever done and driving it. So I've said it in interviews before. I'll say it again. I tell my brother, tell Dustin, when I'm intimidated by something, that means the other guys have got to be crapping their pants.
You said it on this podcast, and that is one of our statements that got said. Is like, okay, if Randy's like, holy shit, then everybody else is like, whoa. So 100%. You gonna say something, Nick?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's that's another unique aspect of this event, and I think that really helps kind of connect to the roots and the whole rock crawling thing, because part of the reason that all of us have found ourselves attracted to this pastime, it's the adventure aspect of it.
Adventure, and we like to do hard things.
Yeah, there you go.
If it's easy, anybody can do it.
Sure.
We want to be different. We want to be challenged. We want to overcome difficulty. That's where we...
Yeah. There were some big names saying right after the race that, either that was bullshit, or that if the trails are going to be that hard, you have to let us pre-run them. But really, the whole point of that, like we've seen over the last couple of years...
If you want an easy time, go to the mall, watch a movie.
Yeah. And they're just trying to find, trying to find a smooth place around that gets them close enough to the VCP. Like, that becomes human nature, but that shouldn't be the objective. So allowing everyone to go out there and get back to their roots and remember that the first time any of us were rock crawling, I guarantee you weren't, following a GPS or looking for a magical mystery point. You were just driving what you saw. And so finding a way to get back
trying
to that,
to pick a line,
reading terrain, envisioning your tires, how the vehicle's going to react. That's badass. It's a really neat aspect, and it really sets the event apart. And the feedback that I've seen has been phenomenal.
How about the Robbie Gordon comment?
I don't know if I saw it.
You saw it.
I did.
You gonna say it, or you gonna make me?
No, you say it.
Well, I haven't seen it or heard it. I'm just quoting somebody that quoted Robbie. So he said that this race was the hardest race that he'd ever done, more than Baja 1000, more than Dakar.
Dakar, yeah, exactly.
Well, there's no caviar and,
right.
big tents at the end, so that makes sense.
Yeah. It's all about the dust, the grit, the nighttime. Holy smokes. It really was like just you couldn't have drafted this up. I know Dave or whoever and Justin that created this course is like, okay, we're going to make this super hard this year. But even on the live feed, Ian Johnson and them are like, oh, okay, they're going to be back in Hammertown, maybe 5 or 6 tonight, wrong.
Oh, Justin said he expected 5 finishers.
5 finishers.
And I didn't believe him.
Okay.
So I'm going to believe him from now on.
Yeah. and we had 2 official finishers, but and Justin drove the whole course, supposedly, right?
Correct.
Okay. How do you say his last name?
Marquand.
Okay. I would
Unique
have
componentry.
Unique componentry, Starlink. We have one of his original ones, thanks to Nick that bought the original one and then sold it to us to upgrade. But smart guy, and he's got a cool little 4-steer buggy little budget car that he turned into something pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, he said that there, I think in the arena and a couple of the like lap 3 trails, he drove them, dropped the RCPs, and those were the only tire tracks on those trails.
Wow.
Not anymore.
Now it's a graded road.
Sad face.
Ish.
So
There's no 7-Eleven up there. We're good.
no, there's no 7-Eleven up there for sure. So, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, yeah. I don't know. You got any more stories? This has been great to get the behind the scenes. The live feed is always good, but there was a lot missing this year, and especially when it went dark, we couldn't tell whose cars were what. The announcers couldn't. You were off the radar for a while, and Chris and I are sitting in my trailer, yelling at the live feed like, "Where the fuck is Slawson? Where's Justin Wicks? Where are these other people?" And Paul Wolf stole a show because he had in-car feed. And I get that from a production standpoint, but it was like, what's going on out there? So it's great to hear that what was going on from your driver's seat, and Dustin and Nick guiding them through. I mean,
In fact, on that note, I remember I was around the live feed the moment that it was on that screen. His car was relatively dark, but all of a sudden it started lighting up yellow. And then a little more, and then a little more, and then we saw a bomber go by. So I think that's how we saw that section and knew. So yeah, I mean, kudos to all the guys that are going through that effort to put that equipment in their car. It's certainly, it's bringing coverage to this sport that hasn't existed, but by the race is getting better and better. So look forward to some more of that as years go by. I don't know if we'll ever get Randy to sign off on the extra 5 or 10 pounds it's going to take to make that live feed happen, but we'll work on it.
I will say it's great for the pit crew, though.
it is good for the pit crew
Yeah.
for sure.
We need
Because
a
that's
few
one
more
of the most
sponsors.
yeah. What was that?
We need a few more sponsors.
Yeah, I need a few more sponsors.
I heard that. What's the thing? Starstream. Heard
Yeah.
that Starstream thing's like $3,000 or $5,000 or something crazy.
Sure.
And that doesn't add performance to the vehicle.
It's
You got to save the money for performance
Right.
adding.
I think it adds performance to the pit crew. Adds performance to the team.
Yeah. Okay, well, good segue. Let's shout out the people that have helped you out here recently. Amber can help out if need be.
Pella Motors, my buddy Craig that we built the car for last year.
Sure.
I guess properly it was 24 we built the car, 25 he raced it. Yeah, if you need a new Ford, Chevy, or Dodge, like Amber just
he's
said
got
quietly,
it all covered.
Pella Motors, he can ship it to you where you are.
I bought mine there. You should too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. You did get your new truck through him.
I did. Yep. Craig hooked it
Yeah.
up. So
Right on.
King Shocks always has our back. Horizon Underground, BFG Tires. This year I switched to Battleborn wheels, and they're pretty amazing. Been enjoying working with Chris over there at Battleborn.
and
Local.
sexy to look at.
They're real pretty. We've got Spider Tracks, Maximum Trans, Torco, Willwood. Josh West always helps us with our tunes and keeps our cars running crispy.
Crispy.
What else? JE Real Drive Lines, Freight Factory, PCI, Warren. I guess is one of our new sponsors that Amber brought to the.
Justin was
to the
pretty
stable.
excited.
That was
after
a
the
long
race.
time coming, and I
Right.
think it paid off this year.
Whole nother level. Justin's always excited, but man, I just
True story.
talked with him, and the couple times I've chatted with him since. Yeah,
He's pretty
just
wound up.
cloud nine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What a wonderful debut for a brand new winch.
No kidding.
Yeah.
The winchiest KOH ever.
Winchiest. Winchiest. You just created a new word.
Hey,
We got the winch.
that's me. Self-appointed.
So,
Oh, PRP. Aaron always makes sure I'm in nice comfy seats and belts and window nets. There's got to be some other sponsors I'm forgetting. Nick with Avalanche Technical doing all the logistics for us, making our pits awesome.
Yeah, and it's it takes a village. It's an old saying, but it's because it's true. And we have had for a long time. There's a lot of people in Randy's pit that have been with him for many years because it's been longer than I've been around, and I've been around for 10. So, in the grand scheme of things, when you have a perfect day, maybe sometimes it's easy to think that you could just do it, or I didn't need much or whatever. But a race like this and a race like every team had this year, I think really exemplifies that, like, you're not doing it alone, and everyone has strengths and weaknesses out there. And we have a really cool team of friends, family, and volunteers that come out and take weeks away from their life, from earning money. It just could not happen without all these guys, girls, families, right? Sometimes it's just a dude, sometimes the whole family's there. So that's been fantastic. It's been really cool to come into this program, see the love, and just, to know that each and every one of those folks, it's everyone has their strength, and it all amounts to a victory like this. So.
well, and I gotta say something here, Nick, knowing you for the 4 or 5 years that I've known you, but watching you be the crew chief, and you are level-headed, you take facts in.
Calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, you are super, you're like cool as a cucumber. Shit could be hitting the fan, and you're like, okay, XYZ, we need this. Can you go do that? You do that, you do that. And I've been in pits where crew chiefs are going batshit crazy, but you have the skills and the talent to go, nope, this is what we're doing, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure shit's happening. So I want to make sure that's stated, because I know you don't like to toot your own horn, but you fucking kick ass out there, man. I've seen it and saw it during this race.
Hey, really appreciate that. Yeah, it's cool. It's
Level heads prevail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And it's a neat segue for me. I don't have the opportunity to spend, like your typical crew chief is probably someone that's employed in the shop and really gets that hands-on experience with the car. My typical work life has me in a complete different place, but it is working with crews, right? Like as a project manager, been a consultant in this field for a long time, worked in some really nasty, shitty environments where people's lives are on the line all the time. And I've just never been the type of person to get too worked up.
Yeah.
It never seems to work out real well.
And in the first main pit stop, when he was leaking oil out of the main seal, and you and Randy were having a conversation. So, Randy having the faith in you, and you guys have this communication, and shut the car off, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck's going on? We gotta go. I'm sitting there as, an observer, and Randy knew, you knew, like, hey, we got to figure this out, or else this could end our race. So let's take the extra few minutes to figure this shit out, and then we can progress forward. And you did that several times throughout the race, hearing Randy's stories, hearing your stories of, like, smooth as fast, take your time, let's figure this shit out. Randy mentioned it earlier, we're not going to leave the pit with a half-assed car. So it works. It works. You guys got a good system, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, heck yeah. Being deliberate, right? That's one of the key things that I like to hit on is just like, and you're always working with volunteers, and it's always going to be that way. So yeah, just trying to share knowledge with our team, and if there's something that you don't know, be sure to speak up and ask, because we don't need any assumptions out there. There's plenty of things that will find their own way to go wrong. We don't need to add to it. So it's been super fun to be a part of, and just an incredible feeling to be with this team. I've been with Randy now for half of his wins, so I will never pass you, but I can keep trying to catch up.
That's cool.
You mentioned being deliberate, and that to me is something that's so important as I've gotten older and have more life experience. People will say, "Oh, it was an accident." No, sorry. You were lazy and you were sloppy and you screwed it up. Be deliberate, do it right. Think about what you're doing before you do it.
Well said.
That's so important.
Yeah.
That you weigh the outcome before you act recklessly and without being thoughtful of what you're going to do and what the ramifications of that are.
And it's volunteers. You're not paying for your pit crew there, and people get excited in the pits. They want to be fast. They're thinking NASCAR. We got to be in and out in 10 seconds or whatever, and that's not the case. And that takes a leader to, discipline those people and go, look, no, take your time. We gotta do X, Y, Z, and all this processes, and it's not an easy task.
As you were saying that, there was one time this race week that I got excited, and my wife Katie actually got it on video, so it'll make our bomber highlight reel.
Okay.
But it was on Friday after the one and only main pit in the EMC race, and we're explaining where you had to run to get back on the course right in front of the Talladega corner. And as soon as we were sending you out, a side-by-side starts driving down the access road. I don't know who it was, what it was. It wasn't like a straight utility car like the volunteers would have. It was, like a sporty, whatever, a Maverick or something. And I remember it now, but not until I saw Katie's video. I was losing my shit. I was like, what the Because I have to have my driver go down this road to get back on the race course at 15 miles an hour. But the last thing that he needs is to be second guessing, like, well, there's a vehicle driving at me, so I can't go this way.
Right.
And so I'm in the video just like, what the fuck? Just losing my mind. So not with our crew, but yeah, you're doing something dumb and you're jeopardizing our event.
Sure.
There's a time and a place for that.
No, it's good stuff.
I'd like to throw a couple names out there. Andrew from Idaho with the Starbat machine is an awesome asset to our team. This year, for at least the second year, we've had Jesse from Washington. Jesse's there in the pit before we make it out there, and he's there all day long trying to figure out how to help us. And he's very level-headed. He's very methodical. I really appreciate him helping us out. Charlie and Joey. Charlie's a 18-year-old kid that I'm friends with his dad here in town, and he came and helped us prep for a couple weeks leading up to the race, and then came down there and helped us all week long. Brought his little service truck down with the generator, welder, miller, whatever that thing's called, on the back of the flatbed, and a bunch of tools and stuff. And
Joey helped me with a lot of the prep on my car, and I think he nailed it.
Yeah, Joey did a great job for us this year. Obviously Dustin, we got Simon and his family came out, and the Miller family, and man, I'm drawing blanks. Yeah, Obi was in the pit. Chris Garrison and his old co-dawg. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I feel terrible. Darren came and joined our team this year. He hasn't, we hung out when he and Chris had the bomber way back in 2011 and 2012 and 2013 or whatever, but he's kind of been out of the scene for a while and came back, wanted to get involved again, so he helped us out and was appreciated.
Yeah. Along with Simon, Tommy's always there.
Tommy's awesome.
Yep.
Always manages to get saddled with picking up junk in town before he comes up to the desert. And,
Yep.
And speaking of picking up junk in town, Bob,
oh,
Bomber Bob.
big
how
Bob.
could I forget about Bob?
The mayor of Hamilton.
Mayor.
Bob turned 70 last year, and his dream was to go ride a dirt bike for his 70th birthday. So we rode around out here in the Pine Nuts, and Bob and I have been running around together for about 25 years now, and he's not like my dad. I'm not sure how to explain what Bob and my relationship are. He's basically my dad's age, but we've ridden more miles dirt biking together than I have with probably anybody in my life. And he's spent more hours. He's volunteered more hours in my garage building on my first rock buggy and the first bomber. And Bob just bends over backwards for me. And, you know, he thrives on acts of kindness or acts of service. I'm not sure what the word is, but you know, he drives from Redlands, California, brings me parts up, hauls parts back down, you know, just comes and hangs out and visits us. And
Jason can appreciate because he certainly gives till it hurts.
He does give till it hurts, exactly. And Bob and I connected over the years, and I didn't know, but I guess I dubbed him as Bomber Bob, and it's a fitting name for him. And when Amber put out the list of like who's doing what in the pits, and it said Bomber Bob, and then it was like your duty, you know, like, okay, your
Job title.
Yeah, your job title. And Amber put Bob.
Just Bob.
Bob is Bob, and Bob does what Bob does, and Bob does it very well. I always, it puts a smile on his face when I see him, and we spent a lot of quality time this KOH, and got some oranges, and I was there super early for another event, left my trailer on the lake bed, came back, and because Bomber Bob goes, hey, I like tequila, so I brought him back some tequila, and anyways, great guy. Always puts a smile on my face when I see Bomber Bob.
Go listen to the last podcast with him on it.
I was gonna say, and he made the podcast debut with Brett King, so that was a lot of fun. That was our first podcast on the lake bed. It was one that I tried to do for 2 years. Brett, being a humble man, was not all about the limelight and all that, and Bob convinced him to finally make it happen, and it was cool. So
when I saw Brett at the King party, he was a little sloshed, but he was giggling about being on the podcast.
Right.
I said that he'd had a good time.
right, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I know that it's likely we'd forget someone in our pit. We have Omri, who's with us.
Yeah.
He's an engineer
Yeah.
over at Triton. He's been helping out for many years with Randy, and always brings an interesting perspective on the things that we're doing in the pit. Chad Brian is another one.
Right.
Longtime friend, been around the team for a long time, is a Southern California local, so he's bouncing in and out throughout the race week and has picked up parts and has run remote pit, has always done a real good, solid job for the Bomber team as well. And I hope we're not missing anybody else, but if we are, there's always next time. The next podcast.
I gotta give special shout outs to the JCF girls that came by and helped me out in the pits that couple days. They came by just to, see what it takes to race King of the Hammers, and I was like, well, you guys know how to wrench. I need this fixed. Here, go take care of this, and it got taken care of. So I was pretty impressed by that, and special shout out to my parents for, well, my mom was a huge help this year. I think she was the one that tipped me off that the winch points on Jack had been stolen. That was something that nobody covered, but
Okay.
there were no winch points in the UTV race because they had been stolen the night before.
Jesus.
So tipped us off to that, and several other little tips, just going into like the short course and the qualifying and stuff like that. So my parents are always a big help, and I love them.
And all the a lot of your former crew and friends and family that were all part of the race program this year as well.
Nick and Kevin mostly.
Yep, Kevin, absolutely. Yep, those guys did a hell of a job. It was great having them around. Tyler with Morphlate is always a help. When
Yes.
we've got
The repeaters.
our radio business to get set up and tuned up. So big thanks to him.
Eric Hanna ran the repeater up and down, I think.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Definitely back down because Tyler was
Yeah.
already gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's crazy, and we talked about this a few minutes ago. I mean, these are volunteer positions. Nobody's getting paid. You're down there for the love of the sport, love of being in the pits, love of helping a team try to win, and it's so cool because that's our community, and it's not a NASCAR, whatever high end. Everything.
We're not getting paid by M&Ms.
Yeah, you're not getting paid. There's no red carpet. There's no glory and you're sucking dust and you're tired and you're hungry and you're thirsty and all this shit, but you still keep grinding away because it's fucking cool at the end of the day. And then to see your team, your driver, your car make it across the finish line first is the icing on the cake. I mean, all those guys and gals got paid when Randy brought that car across the finish line. It's pretty freaking cool.
Absolutely. Kobe,
Well, before
Kobe
we
from
wrap it up-
Tyrite.
Kobe, thank you.
Kobe
Yep.
from Tyrite. Didn't want to forget.
Yep.
Yep, he was absolutely awesome this year. Was kind of my right-hand man as I was running around Maine. There's always some little thing that you need.
Sure.
And he was like
He was your gopher.
Gopher,
Yeah.
He was
yep.
running around.
That's,
he was the
that's
gopher.
what I designated
Bomber
him
Bob.
for.
His title was
Yep.
gopher.
Bomber Bob has done that in the past. but
Right.
Since he's been elected mayor, he's got lots of people to see.
Mayor.
Lots of things to do.
Mayor of Balmerville.
Kobe
Must
knocked it out of the
distribute
park.
oranges.
From coordinating politics with pits,
Yeah.
chasing down loose parts.
Sure.
He was a stud. So thank you, Kobe. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that's cool. What were
All
you going
right.
to say, Randy?
Yeah, I just wanted to give mad props to my wife. She tore her suspension all apart, tore her axles down, inspected everything, sent her diffs out, got them rebuilt, got everything bolted back together, prepped her own, all of her links, pulled her transmission for the first time, replaced it, dropped the pan and switched pans around because we had mismatched pans on the new transmission to the old transmission. All kinds of stuff. So I think it's pretty remarkable that she just grabs the bull by the horns and makes it happen, and then goes out there and races with the boys and runs up front.
Shows them what's up. There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, thank you. No tee.
Try not to cry.
It is. It's cool to watch all this come together. Holy hell! I know we're over 2 hours. Anything else? Any other stories that come to mind, Randy, or anything? I mean, to get you to go this long is pretty good. You had a couple cups of coffee though, so that's good.
Yeah.
So you're not drinking anymore. You're done. You said.
Yeah, I'm 6 months sober or more.
There you go. There you go.
I'm liking my headspace.
There you go. It is. It's interesting how you. I went sober for a while, and it was like I feel really good and stuff, and I'm kind of you kind of inspired me to go maybe back to that for a little while. So we'll see.
Good.
But yeah, good stuff. Holy hell. What a KOH 2026.
Yeah, and thanks, Jason, for the opportunity to tell the story, to share with everybody, hanging out during the race week. I mean, it's really nice to have this platform to give these shout-outs, to right the wrongs of the post-race stage speech,
Yeah.
because those things for anybody, excuse me, are never great, especially after a 13-hour marathon, and you're going to try to think of all the people and all the companies. So this was a nice opportunity to be able to circle back on sponsors as well. So thank you for the platform. We appreciate it.
100%. I don't like to go fast. I don't race, but I love Ultra 4. I love the sport, and we've been doing this for a little over 6 years now, and this is our contribution. And there's no format. This is campfire talk and just telling the real story, and that's what we've hung our hat on for over the years. So, it's cool stuff, man.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't want to let this get away. Before we wrap it up, like to invite everybody to keep Cody Addington in their prayers. And
absolutely. And with that said, very cool. You donated. You and Dustin got awarded bottle of whiskey that Dave handed out, and that raised $3,000. Ian Johnson bought your bottle for $3,000.
Yep.
And of course he had to rub it in my face saying, I just went up to your collection, Jason. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. But you're right. Then Dustin, I think that bottle went for $5,000.
No, we sold the passenger door panel for $5,000.
The panel went for that. But Dustin also donated his bottle, and that raised money. So there was, and then Amber's passenger side panel went. Both of you signed them and stuff, and it's cool. I remember in the old days, Jesse Combs up on stage auctioning off stuff. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was auctioning off stuff on stage. So again, this 20th anniversary brought it back to what we were like talking with people that in our camp that had been there for several years and watched the evolution of KOH. Was like, this brought it back to what KOH is all about. And the auction was another great feature in helping out Cody and
Kendall Glines.
Yeah, thank you for remembering that name, because I was escaping me right now. And again, helping out fellow racers in a time of need, and there was a ton of support for Cody out there, and there will continue to be support for Cody, and hopefully this shit all rights itself, and he's with us for many years. So, holy hell, what a journey! It's still going. But 4-time freaking king, Randy Slawson, thank you for sharing the stories. It is incredible and good stuff to get a little insight on what it was like to race the hardest race of King of the Hammers in 20 years, and being there for all 20 of them. That's a strong statement, because nobody else can make that statement, right?
Absolutely.
So,
if we didn't say it already, all the bomber cars are for sale.
Contact Bomber Fabrication on IG, Facebook. You're on Facebook a lot more than IG.
No.
No?
Equal?
Okay. All right. Either one. And Randy responds to the messages along with Amber.
Nope, just Randy. Randy.
Just Randy? No? You don't respond? Okay,
Not
none
on
of those
his
comments
pages.
are from you.
It's
Okay.
funny. People will ask, who am I talking to? Oh, this is Randy.
You're talking
Oh, you're a busy man. Do you ever sleep? pretty funny.
Yep, there you go. So hit up Bomber Fabrication website also, but if you want one of the best freaking trail cars, best race cars, this is where you go. It's proven, it's race proven, it's trail proven, and undeniable.
We're full service. We can sell you all the bits and pieces to build your own. We can build part of it for you. We can build it to roller, turnkey, whatever you can dream, we can do it. So
There you go.
Get it while the getting's good.
yeah, get your deposit in soon. We're gonna book up for the year.
Yeah. Get in
By the
before
end
the
of
prices
February,
go up.
we'll be done.
Nick, you got anything else there?
I don't think so. No, I think we covered it pretty well. Look forward to seeing where all this goes and all the new bomber cars that'll be coming out of the hangar over the next year. So,
Okay, I think that's it. And Amber, with that,
We're hiring.
oh, we're hiring. Not we're out.
And we're out.
Oh, there you go.